So team members who keep their cameras off in a meeting can impact engagement and communication. We're going to explore some of the strategies to address this issue. Firstly, try to understand the reasons behind the camera usage. There could be various reasons at play, such as technical issues, personal comfort, or even cultural norms. Start by having that informal discussion with team members to listen to their preferences and any obstacles they might be facing. If there's technical issues, address any of those technical issues that might prevent team members from using their cameras. Ensure that everyone has the necessary equipment and support to resolve issues like poor internet connectivity or camera malfunctions. Communicate the benefits of having cameras on. Explain how video participation improves engagement, helps with non-verbal communication, and builds a stronger connection within the team. Sharing these benefits might encourage more team members to turn their cameras on. Establish expectations for camera use in meetings. Communicate the importance of video participation for effective communication and team cohesion. Make sure these expectations are part of your team's meeting guidelines or etiquette. Establish guidelines for camera use and follow it with team members. You might include these guidelines in meeting invites or team communications. Revisit the importance of camera use and provide gentle reminders to ensure compliance. Of course, depending on your organisation and the organisation you work for, this may or may not be possible. There are certain organisations that are less forceful in this need, and some organisations where you would have to have your camera on, unless, I suppose, if you had a doctor's note for no camera, for example. And so it sort of depends on the organisation. The organisation I'm in currently, very lenient in this use. Okay, you can have cameras on, you can have cameras off, whatever you like. And people make use of that. People will switch the camera off for whatever reason. What's interesting is the different reasons people give for that. Okay, and oftentimes it's related to do with some kind of condition they have, so ADHD or some other condition they have, and that's the reasoning behind it. And I find that interesting because I think it's great that this organisation makes those allowances for individuals. But I was unable to understand why ADHD, for example, would cause an issue. And I spoke to one person, and they said that actually, because of the condition that this person had, they end up looking around a lot, and that can be distracting, and so they prefer to have the camera off so it doesn't affect the viewer. I was unsure about this. I didn't fully understand it, but didn't feel comfortable questioning this person any further because they weren't a friend, and I'd sort of gotten to the limits of professional questioning. So then when I moved into another team, one of the team members who keeps his camera on does this exact same thing. He'll be talking to you or be listening. Not when he's talking to you, actually, when he'll be listening. And it doesn't matter who he's listening to. It can be, I've been in meetings where he's been listening to senior leadership, doesn't matter who. And he'll be looking around. The blank expression on his face, and he'll be looking around. And then when it comes time to answer the question, he's immediately on it. He knows exactly what he needs to say, and he answers the question remarkably well, well insightful. And it's such a I can understand now why this person had this camera off, this other person, because it does affect you. Because especially coming from my background in education, and you see a student sitting there, you immediately think, okay, this person's not paying attention. So, but actually seeing it in action and seeing it take place, I was really surprised, and helps me understand the need for that some people have to keep their cameras off. So again, establish clear guidelines, but understand that for some people there's a genuine need to have the camera off. So understand that need, but also it doesn't stop you from recommending compliance. But you should have that understanding that actually there are reasons, there are genuine reasons why people have the cameras off, and this is one reason, but there's a range of other reasons why they might have it off. For example, they might not be happy with what's behind them. And you could put background on, but it's not always possible, especially if there's people coming in and out of, and you don't want them to pop up, because the system will pick up individuals in the background. So ideally, you have a positive environment where team members feel comfortable in turning the cameras on. And you're encouraging a culture of openness and inclusion. As part of that culture of inclusion, you also need to think about why people might have the cameras off. What you could do, though, is you could start meetings with casual conversations or team building exercises, and that can help people feel at ease. It can also help you understand who's got the camera on, who's got the camera off, and the reasoning behind it. If someone has the camera on, and then when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of the hard work and the meeting, they switch it off and you don't really hear from them, there's a sign there that might lead you to question a bit more. But if they have the camera off from the start, they leave it off during the tough part of the meeting, but they're contributing and they're able to respond in a timely way, then I'd be less concerned. But if you're having issues and you really want to have cameras on and you feel like this person has the cameras off with no reason, approach conversation still with empathy. Take the time to understand, be supportive of them, and encourage that gradual shift, because they might have the cameras off not for any particular medical reason, but they might still have a reason to leave it off, and that could be because they don't feel the environment's comfortable for them, and it's your job then to make that environment comfortable for them.